Shalom, everyone, and welcome to Coffee and Connection Week 59. I'm coming to you live from the car in Jerusalem. I'm not driving, but I, thank God, am at my daughter is competing in a all-girls dance competition. It's so awesome to be here and to see her. I love these kinds of things. They just make me just really emotional that, thank God, there's such opportunities for girls to really express their creative side. And I really love it. I love that I'm here. So I had to leave a little bit early. I saw her dance. Of course, she was incredible, Baruch Hashem. But I'm waiting in the car now while they're watching the rest of it. And I came to join all of you. I have my coffee cup from my drive over here, but it's all done now. But I hope you have your coffee, your tea, you're staying warm and relaxed. And I'm really excited to talk about today's topic. I have to say that it may be triggering for some people. I may say things that you may not like, and that's okay. I'm going to share my thoughts and different observations that I've had over the years. And I just invite you to consider it. Consider it for just like 2 minutes before you reject it. And really, like, if you're committed, if you really want your Purim to either be better or actually be enjoyable, as opposed to if maybe you haven't been enjoying it, I do invite you to lean in and at least consider for even 2 minutes what I'm going to share with you today. So I'm going to do two littler things, and then we're going to go into the bigger one in terms of like what generally seems to bother women about Purim. Usually when I speak to women and they tell me how much they hate Purim or how much they dread it or how much they really don't look forward to it, it comes down to either a state of just overwhelm, like there's just way too much to do. Also just a feeling of like, there's nothing in it for me. There's nothing I get to do. It's all for the kids. It's for the men. Like I don't really feel like I have anything to do in it, any fun. And then there's the big one, which is when women really hate their husbands getting drunk. They really hate and resent and feel very upset about their husbands getting drunk. So let's do you relate to any of these? Just let me know in the chat if like 1, 2, 3, or all of them, either number 1, number 2, number 3, or all of them are also really like triggering or upsetting or stressful for you. Okay. So let's talk about them. First of all, the overwhelm. Okay. And what I want to share here is, some of them will do some insights, some of them will do some tips and ways to deal with it. With the overwhelm, it really can be overwhelming. I mean, especially this year. I know you guys had this last year. We have it a lot in Jerusalem where Purim is on Friday, which means that like by Thursday, and thank God I have Thursday is like an off day because it's like Purim, so the kids don't have school and we don't, we kind of take that day to get ready. But by Thursday, I have to have not just all the shalach manis and the costumes ready, and not just the Suda, but all of Shabbos, unless I want to spend Purim cooking for Shabbos, which like, I don't want to spend Purim cooking for Shabbos. So it's so overwhelming. There's just so much to do. And this is where I'm really going to invite you to look at your list. So make a to-do list, make a list of everything you have to do, and then really ask yourself if everything there is really necessary. Like if you spend Purim feeling like a shmata or feeling overwhelmed, then it's really important to ask yourself, what can I take off my list? Because you being overwhelmed, even if you're saying, yeah, but everything on there is necessary for me to make a fun and beautiful Purim, well, how fun and beautiful is it if you're in a bad mood, right? What kind of education or what kind of real, what are you giving over if at the end of it you feel like a shmata? And don't think your kids don't notice, and don't, like, everyone knows when Ima feels like a shmata. They see it, before, during, after. So there's really no point in pushing yourself to the point where you're going to feel like a shmata. It's just not worth it. So what can you take off your shoulders? Can you do less for mishloach manot? Can you ask the kids to do it? I always loved wrapping mishloach manot, and I just let the kids do it. I love it. And I used to stay up all night, like doing the ribbons, like the ribbons with the scissors, you know what I'm talking about? And I finally one year was like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't care that they're not going to look as pretty. No one cares. And this isn't worth the hours of my time. So really ask yourself, even if it's something that you've always done, or it's something the kids really want, or it's like, I want to make that extra dish that's extra special. See, how can I make it easier? Can I make it in advance if that's not going to overwhelm you? I know for myself, cooking for 3 days just overwhelms me more than cooking for one. That's why I cook for Shabbos on Friday. Or can I buy it instead, or can I just cross it off the list? And sometimes I find, especially for Purim, it is often so much more helpful to buy something than spend the hours making it. It's just something I've learned over the years, especially with Purim. And so, like, anything you can take off your list, I really invite you to do that, because it's just not worth it. Remember, guys, Purim is supposed to be besimcha. Purim is supposed to be happy, not just the kids, not just your husband, also you. So this brings us to number 2, okay? I really invite you to think about, what can you enjoy about Purim? How can you make Purim not just for everyone else in the family, but also for you? What can you do to make it special for you? Okay. Now, for everyone, that's going to be different. Everyone has their own things that they can make it special with, whether it's I go deliver mishloach manot to the people that I really want to see and I really love, and I don't give it to the kids or my husband to do. I'm going to go deliver mishloach manot to my best friend, or to my sister, or to the rabbi. I want to be there. I want to be a part of it. Or it might be the opposite. I'm going to let the kids do all the mishloach manot, or my husband, and I'm going to take some time to relax. Or I'm going to make sure that, I have that time to just get the things done that I need to do, or to daven, or whatever it is. It might be, speaking of davening, like using that power of tefillah that Purim has. A lot of women, I remember learning when I was in seminary, about the power of davening vatikin on Purim. And I actually find it no matter how late I stay up Purim night, I find it really makes a difference to my Purim if I do that. If I wake up vatikin, which also just means you get an extra early start on the day. I'm not a morning person, so it's not like I do this every day, but I do find something very powerful about it. It may be just taking time to daven throughout the day, whether you make sure you daven once, or you get some Tehillim in, or whatever. Going to a Megillah reading that you enjoy. What else? Dressing up. Okay, doing something to dress up and feel that special feeling of dressing up. Now, some people have like this, some people love dressing up. Some people don't, aren't really into it. Even putting a little crown on your head and being like, I'm the queen of this house, like, or whatever, can in a like dignified and loving way, can be so fun. There's just something fun about dressing up, even if you just put on your fanciest dress. Not just you putting on your fanciest dress and a crown on your head, boom, you have a costume, and it's fun. There's something just fun and enjoyable about that. What other ideas? You're welcome to share other ideas of like making it special for you, so that you also enjoy this holiday. I really believe that it's so important for us to enjoy and love and appreciate the holidays. So really ask yourself, if you're feeling like it's all for the kids or it's all for the men, what do you want? Maybe you want to get together with some friends, maybe either the night, like at night, or the second night, or for breakfast in the morning. Something special that you can do. Dancing with your family, like putting on some fun music and dancing. There's so many things that we can do so that we can also get into the Purim spirit. And let's go to the third topic, because this one is a real trigger for some women, and they really don't like it. I hear women say how I don't like how my husband acts when he's drunk. I don't like that he's getting drunk and he's leaving me to take care of everything. I have to take care of the kids. I have to clean everything up. And yes, there is a little bit more on our shoulders, or a lot more on our shoulders, when our husbands are drinking. But I'm going to say something that is just important to say, okay? It's one day of the year. And honestly, it's his mitzvah on that day. If you're going to say like, no, men really don't have to get drunk, that's between you and your Rav. The general halachic opinion is that men are supposed to get drunk, like really drunk. Okay. They're supposed to get drunk. And for us to get upset about it, we're taking away, and I'm not saying every guy has to get drunk. If he doesn't want to get drunk, okay. I just really am going to invite you to lean in and make space for your husband to do his mitzvah. Now, if you're going to say, but I don't want to be taking care of all the kids at the shul su'uda while he's drunk, so maybe don't go to the shul su'uda. Maybe have the su'uda at your home, or go to someone else's home where you and the other women can hang out and be comfortable because all your kids are just playing in the basement, right? Or maybe have a Suda at home and then let him go to the shul on his own to get drunk with all his friends, or arrange a babysitter, or maybe go home at a certain point. But what I'm saying here is that it's really important this is a place that we really get to support our husbands in doing this mitzvah. That's once a year. It's really once a year. Now, also, if it's not about the kids, if it's about, I don't like how he acts, I don't like the fact that he's getting drunk, again, it's really important to remember that this is the mitzvah. This is what he's supposed to do at the Su'uda. And so giving him that space and not getting mad at him is really about you partnering with your husband, right? Really like just being his partner. You're supporting him and keeping the mitzvah. It's no different than you like watching the kid so he goes to shul, or sacrificing your time with him so he can learn. This is his mitzvah. And he acts a little crazy. Okay, that's how it's supposed to be, right? He's supposed to get so, versnickered or whatever. And you know what? When we let go of that, when we let go of the, why is he getting drunk and stuff like that? Oh, 1 second. Sorry about that. When we can let go of that frustration and embrace it, it can actually be really fun, right? And you might say, well, my husband's like, drunk. Okay, so then don't be around him when he's drunk. A lot of guys are fun and funny when we're not getting upset at them about it, right? The reason it's usually it's a lot of it is not what's happening, it's what we're making it mean. Maybe it's the way, if we're upset, if we're frustrated that he's getting drunk and we're shocked, I can't believe my husband got so drunk. I can't believe he's not helping me with the kids, or I can't believe he fell asleep at the end of the Suda and he's not helping me clean up. Then yeah, it's going to be frustrating. But if you accept already now, and that's why I'm not doing this topic next week, because I want you to really think of it, how you can apply each of these 3 ideas as you're planning your Purim, not the week of, but even a week and a half before. I really invite you to think of how you can put this into play. And it may take some time to work through your struggles and your frustrations with your husband getting drunk, and being able to make space of like, I know he's going to get drunk. Even if I know I don't like drunk people, or I know he's going to make a fool out of himself, or I know he's not going to help me. I know it's going to be X, Y, and Z is going to happen. It happens every year, right? So what I invite you to do is accept it. Bring acceptance. It doesn't mean you have to like it. It means you accept, and you know that it's going to happen, so that when it does happen, it's not like, I can't believe it, right? It's just like, yep, there it is. There's Abba getting drunk. There's my husband getting drunk, right? There it is. And you can set yourself up for success, whether it's shifting your mindset about it, or whether it's setting up your su'uda in a way that you can still enjoy, that it doesn't become that frustration for yourself. So again, whether you set up where you're going for the su'uda, or where you're going is the biggest question, and even just taking it into account and planning accordingly. So I'd love to hear from all of you. You're welcome to send me a message. You could put it in the comments here, what your thoughts are on this, which of these you want to take into, really put into practice as you're planning your Purim. If anything I shared with you was like triggering or upsetting, of course, I'll say it anyways, that all of this comes from like the depths of my heart, wanting every woman to be able to enjoy Purim, because Purim really is a holiday that we are meant to be a part of. So when people say, oh, it's a men's holiday, like, no, we have a mitzvah to hear Megillah also, right? We have a mitzvah in all of the mitzvahs. We have a chiyuv in it because it's a mitzvah that affected us and even happened through women, right? So we are meant to be a part of Purim. Purim is not meant to feel like it's someone else's holiday and it's not really about me. And part of that might be, and I invite you, anyone who's really struggling with it, or even if you're not struggling, to take the next week and a half to dive into some Purim Torah, to like learn the Megillah, or listen to some shiurim about Purim, or learn the Megillah. I love the Megillah. I could listen to shiurim about the Megillah like all day. It's just so deep and incredible. Or get excited about Purim in some way, so that you also feel like it's your holiday, that you're connecting with Hashem on this holiday. You're seeing Hashem in your life, keeping a Hashgacha Pratis journal for the next week. I don't know, whatever will help you feel connected to the holiday, because it's also your holiday. I feel like there's some Hebrew phrase for that, but it's also gam hen banes, right? Isn't there some phrase like that? They're also in the miracle. That's why women have to be a part of the Chag. We're also meant to feel it, to connect with it. And I really invite you to find your piece of connection. Some of that might be letting go of the overwhelm and feeling like you have to do everything. Some of it may be making sure that you set up your Purim schedule to also benefit you, that you get the time that you need, you get the inspiration, you get the rest, you get the fun that you want to be a part of your Purim. And looking at your mindset and the frustration that you might sometimes have about Purim, and making sure that you're in integrity with being that supportive, loving wife that you want to be, while also respecting yourself, of course. So all of that plays out together and can really allow you to have a really enjoyable Simchadik Purim. And I'd love to hear from you all how it goes, how your Purim is, and any changes that you were able, that this helped you in being able to enjoy your Purim better. So we'll still speak next week, but I really invite you to consider it as you're making your plans and finalizing everything. And I can't wait to hear how it goes. So thank you all for joining me in my car. Someone's asking any suggestions, but I thought I gave a lot of suggestions, so I'm not sure what that means. But we definitely gave a lot of different ideas of how we can connect and how we can enjoy it and how we can look at our mindset, right? So in terms of, let me just look quickly at the questions. If you're feeling overwhelmed in any way, I think I saw, the first text. I don't know. Okay. There was a question about like, what if I only want to send one Mishloach Manot, but yet there's so many that are being sent. I apologize. I'm not seeing all the comments because I'm concentrating here, but I saw something flash across the screen. We can always give ourselves permission to give less and do less. We can also, give ourselves permission to make smaller ones, right? Make just one big one and the rest of them small. Give ourselves permission to make it less fancy. I think we put so much expectation and so much like, oh, it has to be amazing and that. Is that really necessary? And if you really feel it is, then how can I enjoy it? But really isn't necessary, right? I know there are some years that my friends and giving them, and then some years like, I'm really too tired. So you know what? This year I'm not going to. This year I'm going to stay home. I'm going to finish taking care of the Suda. I'm going to enjoy. I'm going to just, enjoy. And it's okay. It's okay. It doesn't I think that we can take a lot of those expectations off of our shoulders and give ourselves permission to do what works for us, because in the end of the day, the whole thing is that it's supposed to bring people together. And if we're feeling frustrated or what's the word? If we're feeling resentful of how many people we have to give, that's not bringing people together, right? That's not connecting us to people. That's disconnecting us. So really ask yourself what works for you. Really give yourself permission to enjoy the holiday. And I look forward to speaking more about Purim next week, Be'ezrat Hashem. And until then, may we all be blessed to live, love, and be loved with all our hearts. Goodbye for now.